My name is Kelly Carter, and I will be going over the Gabriel Fernandez case today. This is Gabriel Fernandez. He was born on February 20th, 2005, and he was described as a loving child by his peers in school as well as his teachers. He lived in Palmdale, California. He was born there, and he eventually was killed there. He passed away on May 24th, 2013, whenever he was only 8 years old. This is Pearl Fernandez. This is his mother. She was born on August 29th, 1983, and she had described having a rough childhood. Her father had been in and out of prison as she was growing up, and that took a big toll on her. He was also very abusive. She started using methamphetamine and drinking at the age of 9. At 11 years old, she ran away from home and then dropped out of 8th grade because of everything she was going through in her personal life. She has several mental health disorders such as depressive disorder, developmental disabilities, personality disorder, and PTSD. This is Asaro Aguirre. This is Pearl's boyfriend and the main person that had come into contact with Gabriel before he passed away. He was born on June 13th, 1980, and he dropped out of high school around the 9th grade because he had failed twice, and he just didn't care anymore. He was described as kind and gentle by people that worked with him before this whole situation happened. He was also openly homophobic to the point where he would attack people if they were out on the street whenever they were in a same-sex relationship, and he also used the word gay as a derogatory term towards Gabriel. So CPS and DCFS. CPS is the Child Protective Services, and DCFS is Department of Child and Family Services. So reports showed that he was being abused, so they knew of the abuse and the extent of it, but they decided to do nothing. They also falsified records, saying that after the initial visit, they had went back and talked to Gabriel again to make sure everything was okay and everything was fine, but they did not do that. During a welfare check, they did talk to Pearl, but only to her. She had decided to tell them that Gabriel was acting out, and this is the reason that he was showing up with bruises and all of this, but that was far from the truth. So instead of being like, hey, we need to talk to Gabriel, they took her words at face value and kind of just left him in the house. They also rated him as low risk, so even though they saw all of the bruises, all of the broken bones, all of the missing teeth, everything, they rated him as low risk and left him in that house, which eventually led to him being killed. So this is his autopsy. So as you can see on here, there was a broken skull. He also had broken ribs. There was also BB pellets lodged in his groin and ribs. He was also severely malnourished. So the only time that he would get food, it was an actual substance. He was forced to eat cat litter, feces, vomit, all of that. They had a house cat, and they waited for the cat box to get really dirty, and then they forced him to eat all of the litter. But since he got fed so rarely and he was so hungry, he ate everything he was given. Cause of death was blunt force trauma, because Asaro had picked him up and just thrown him around the house, and it had given him severe brain damage. And Pearl's way of justifying this was that he had been playing with his little brother, and he fell off of the top bunk, which is not what happened. The manner of death was homicide, and also there were multiple different injuries on his body that were in different stages of healing, such as bruises, fractured ribs, broken bones, scratches, scars, everything. So this was Gabriel before he passed, and as you can see, he had multiple black eyes, and he also had multiple head injuries and various different things. He was also shaved bald because Asaro said that if he wanted to act like a girl, then he would shave him bald to make him look more manly. Okay, And then there's also like these bruises and bite marks on the side of his neck. So Isaro regularly would bite Gabriel and just like tear off his skin. Um, this was also one of the most like sentimental things that was found within the case. This was taken. These photos were taken at school, so he could give this to his mom on Mother's Day. And Pearl was given this, like the card of her child, after he had passed away, and she wasted no time throwing that away, even though those were pictures of him right before he passed away. So this was him in critical condition, and as you can see down here, he has like this feeding tube, and there's multiple like scratches and scars and like just open wounds on his neck from where he was just hit and thrown around and bitten and all of that. Right here you can see some of the extensive trauma that was on his face, on his body, all over like his arms, legs, everything. So right here you can see a bit more into what was happening on the neck. And it was like bite marks from Isaro just like biting him and tearing his skin off. And right here you can see some of the bruising that is starting to heal up, and also some of the just open scars. And from this picture you can see that he was so badly beaten that his eyes were swollen shut. Like the medical examiner said that they couldn't even tell what eye color he had because his eyes were so swollen. So within the court decisions, Pearl got life in prison because she took a plea deal in February of 2018. So she has life in prison without the possibility of parole. Isaro did not take the plea deal from the courts, so he got charged with first-degree murder in 2018, and he received the death penalty. Thank you.